This episode is brought to you by Carrasco Cantina, a local real estate firm located in the state of New Jersey. They're here to help you with all your real estate needs. Welcome to Let's Talk About It, your favorite mortgage advisor. I'm here with Annemarie from SERHANT. Annemarie, welcome to Let's Talk About It. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
I love the fact that you are here, right? We're going to talk about it. So, Annemarie, you're a SERHANT. You're crushing it. You got the videos. You got the glimpse of New York City. You got the glimpse of Hudson County. Let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
So, what is it like working in New York City?
Well, it's definitely a whole other market
Right.
when you're comparing it to New Jersey. So as you know, I'm dually licensed. When I got licensed, it was back during COVID, and during that time, they still had reciprocity between the two states.
Right.
So essentially what that means, you complete your hours, pass your state exam to one state, you could go ahead and take your state exam for the other state. So I went ahead and I did that. So, now being fast forward 5 years in, I have learned that the nuances in, acquiring new business is completely different.
Right.
When you're comparing the two.
Okay. So now, we're all over the place, and the topic today is what's the right time?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Right?
of course.
High rates, low inventory.
Yep.
Dive into that. Like, what do some need to do to prepare themselves? Because we've watched as much say like it's too expensive, but yet trending things are getting a little bit more expensive.
Correct.
Right. So how do you define that, and what are you telling your clients?
Yeah, so I always like to tell my clients, especially the ones who are, following the news, following rates, they're the ones who are kind of, timing the market to see when is the best time to shoot their shot.
Shoot their shot, okay.
Yeah, and I like to say little basketball references.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes things fun. But in reality, it has nothing to do with the market per se, but it has everything to do with you. When are you ready? And we're talking about like finances, are your finances in order? What can you qualify for? What's comfortable for
Right.
you? Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be what's better, rent or buying,
Right.
And then specifically speaking to my markets, where I work in, we're talking about areas where rents are also climbing fairly quickly as well.
Right.
I read recently that of the state of New Jersey, Jersey City is ranked #1 in rents. And it makes sense. The proximity to New York City,
Right.
the conveniences that you have of
Commute,
getting into the city.
all that stuff that comes along with it, right?
So of course it's a no-brainer. It makes sense that rents are rising. So it's like, okay, you're going to continue pouring, $30, $40, $50,000 a year into rent, or are you going to pour it into a property that's going to repay you? So it's not a matter of when rates drop
Right.
or when inventory gets better. It's all about the strategy for you. What works best for you?
Right.
And it's not only achieving that acquisition, it's also what's your game plan 5 years, 10 years from now
Right.
for that specific purchase.
So it can be either an investment,
Yeah.
right? Or it can be something that you're holding before you start your family. It
Yeah.
could be that you're single, right? It could be, there's so many different things to your point, right? It has to be about you. Like, what is comfortable for you now? What's going to make sense? And how are we going to make sure I protect that portion, right? Because we always watch when some of us are spending X amount of dollars in rent. You're like, oh my God, all this money I threw into rent. I
Yeah.
could have owned something all this time.
Yeah.
Not to say renting's a bad thing, because I don't want us to come here and be like, we're forcing you to buy. Let's be honest. If you need to rent, you should rent. If you're not ready to buy a house, don't buy a house. What we're saying, let's explore those options by talking to you and I about how to get there, right?
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly. Yeah. So it's funny because I have a show on YouTube. It's called The Realist Estate, and one of my episodes specifically talks about the price you pay by waiting.
Right.
And the biggest lie that someone could tell you is that waiting is free. No,
Right. No.
There's a cost that comes with waiting also. And unfortunately, when you reach that point of realization, you're like, oh crap, that house that I absolutely loved was worth $100K less, last year or 2 years ago. Granted, rates are down, but you're paying more for it anyways.
Yeah. To your point, you and your real estate estates on YouTube, right? You said Zillow's a lie. Can you What do you mean by that?
Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right, so first and foremost, Zillow is not on our side. When I say our side, I mean as real estate agents, right? Because they are promoting things that for the consumer, when they're seeing it, they think this is it. Like they're looking at Zillow like if it's the holy grail of real estate.
Right.
It's the real estate Bible.
Right.
It is not. There's only so much Zillow can be accurate on, So in my show, I talk about these estimates,
Right.
and how like crazy off they are when they're evaluating a home.
Right.
Why is that? Zillow's an algorithm. Zillow is pulling information that they're limited to reaching, online.
Right.
They don't know the curb appeal of your block. They don't know your neighbors. They don't know the renovations that you made, the quality of the renovations,
Right.
the material used, the appliance package. Like I could go on and on and on.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
So like I always have these conversations, that, Zillow said it's worth this. Zillow said it's worth that. And so here I am thinking that Zillow's going to make my life easier, right? To facilitate, the smoothest process of purchasing or selling a home. No, now I have to combat against Zillow and not try, but debunk why Zillow's estimates are not 100% accurate, So for the viewers who are watching this, if you're looking at Zillow and you're seeing this estimate, use that as a rough range, like a loose reference point in terms of value, but it's definitely not 100%. accurate.
No. So in the world of real estate, Zillow at times it makes lives easier, right? But it's doing it because it's using your information and a paid subscription.
Yes.
Right. And so the more you pour into it, the more it's looking at it, the more some rely on it. Now,
Yes.
that could be a good or a bad thing. There's a pro, and then that con sometimes could be challenging because you can make the case because you're with SERHANT and you guys are a giant marketing machine. You guys define it. Why go here when I can give you here? When it comes
Very
to
true.
marketing, how do you brand that with, I would make the case, one of the strongest entrepreneurs / CEO in online branding, SERHANT. How do you use that today to help your clients?
Well, we're living in a time where everything is digital,
Correct.
right? Everyone's on socials.
Right.
So what's amazing about being with this company is that we are known to be different from all the other real estate companies, right? Because we're not just a brokerage. We are a media-based company that sells real estate. So from inception to the point of closing, our strategy on how we're going to present your property and market it is going to be completely different from, these other, if you want to call them veteran brokerages or
Right.
the ones who have been in the game much longer. I see a lot of agents and they have a $1 million plus listing, and then you look at their listing photography and it's like crooked angles, it's like you could clearly tell this person took it on their phone
Right.
and they don't even know how to use like portrait mode or all these fancy settings that iPhone has, right?
Right.
Or the listing description is one sentence and they just upload it onto the MLS and that's all. They
Right.
expect for the market to do its thing and you're going to magically, have the highest and best offer,
Right.
arrive to you. No, that's not the case. So with SERHANT, we do things completely different, And what I love is that we're always looking to push the envelope. We're always looking to see how we can, exceed expectations, not only in the way we present ourselves, but in our results.
You did. It was funny, right? You on your the real estate.
The real estate.
You had it was comical how you displayed not using someone like you, like the falsehoods that you get when you think you can make more from your money or you don't appreciate the value. And this is why I have you on Let's Talk About It, right? So you can dive into, yes, we have a consultation. We talk about branding. We talk about the relationship. We talk about the before and after, right? We don't treat it as it's a number. We treat it as if like we need you to talk about us because of what we've done for you in the beginning and at the end of the transaction. So that's one of the things I've always gravitated to when it comes to the SERHANT brand because he's always preaching that, but at the same time, he's always keeping it to the basics. Like, you still have to make the calls. You still have to understand who you're working with. You still have to understand your relationships. You still have to understand your opportunities. So it goes to show how well you guys are doing and how much the company's growing. And to your point, right,
Yeah.
since inception, you've seen the highs and lows. And right now, you guys are riding high despite what's going on in today's market, right?
Yeah.
So kudos to that that
Thank
branding
you.
situation. So to that point, let me ask you this. People make the argument, I don't have a skin in it. What do you think about private listings? If you're looking for ISAs and marketing, please contact J. Lopez Enterprise, servicing all 50 states.
Ooh, I'm actually, you know what? I'm starting to become a fan of private listings. Reason being is just I'm noticing that all these public listing platforms, you know, they're starting to add a lot more red tape, a lot more, you know, just restrictions, you know, and I noticed that one way to stand out and provide value to your client is that you're tapping into properties and opportunities that they don't have to compete against, you know, the public, right? And that only makes you look like a rock star because it's like you're plugged in, you know? So it's actually starting to become more popular.
You're gonna get cussed out. Some people are gonna come after you in the comments, right? You're gonna be like, we're private. Like, I want to do why private? Why
Well,
not?
when you say private listing, do you mean I'm only shopping it like to my brokerage, or do you mean there's like an exclusive group of people who are sharing their inventory?
Well, both ways, right? Because what Compass has done, they've made exclusivity to some of those who only work at Compass, right? So do you take away those eyes that people want homes to purchase, or can you make the case if it's public, you get someone like Annemarie to say, okay, this is what this home should be valued and this is what you should pay, right? The point is, depending on where you at with that side, you can make the case private is good and others can make the case private is not good.
Right. It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. I think, and it's an opinion. I do feel like putting it out there to the public, what is our number one responsibility? Is to adhere to what the client's looking for.
Correct.
If they're limited on what they don't see, how are we fulfilling that? That's a case to be made.
Yeah.
But on the other side is, if I'm selling something and you're showing it to the wrong buyer pool,
Right.
how am I supposed to make the most from
Right,
it,
right, right.
So depending
It
on
all
where you're at, it all
depends.
depends. And that's why I asked you that question. And I want this to resonate with some, because some people say, well, there's no, it just really what area you're working in real estate, right? Buy side, sell side. What state you're working in, buy side, sell side, right? So it really depends. But I do think, because of the world of the internet, more are going to put their stuff public, again, to what SERHANT has with the brand and with the marketing. Just a bit.
Yeah. So now that we dove into it a little
Okay.
bit more, I would say I'm a big fan of PLs, private listings.
Okay.
If I'm tapped into it representing my buyer, right?
Right.
Because now I'm providing them options that are not on the market, right?
Okay.
So we're eliminating that competitive factor, right? They don't feel like, oh, I'm in a bidding war. You know, they feel like I'm getting exclusive first access.
Right.
And again, circling back to it makes me look like a rock star. Now, granted, if I'm representing my seller, then obviously that's a different story, because that's when you need all those
Right,
eyeballs, right?
right.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked that question, right? And at some point, we're gonna have to, it's gonna be a big thing where it's gonna have to be answered, right? So I'm always like, again, it's just an opinion, right? So it's
Of course.
we'll see what happens, but I do think that it's out there. It's out there.
It definitely is.
Right. So when you hear and you mentioned it earlier, right? I don't know, for some reason, people keep thinking like there's a staple button, like the rates are going to come down. When it comes down,
Yeah.
everything's going to happen. Like you keep hearing it. Rates got to come down in order for me to make the change. How do you say, okay, I know you, prior to what we talked about, you said it's the makeup of the individual, right? But is there's a sentence that you just say like, look, don't look at the rate, just see what you can do? Like, is there another thing, a combative statement that you're using to help calm those fears, right? Because they just, that was easy. They just want that stable button, right? Like,
Yeah.
like what do we need to do? What are you saying?
Yeah, I think it boils down to one word, and that's strategy.
Okay.
A lot of buyers don't know that there's so many ways to get creative to making that purchase work for you, right? And I'm sure you're in the mortgage business. There's so many first-time home buyers that I'll speak with. They have no idea that you can like buy down your interest rate.
Right.
They have no idea that you could take advantage of an ARM loan and then you can refinance out
Right.
of it. There's ways to go about it so we could sweeten the deal and make it more comfortable for you.
Right. And to what Annemarie is saying, to what Annemarie is saying.
Yes.
Yeah, let me get that right.
Annemarie.
Yeah.
I'm a 3-syllable gal.
Yeah. I'm just calling Annemarie. Just go with that. To what she's explaining, like in some cases, right, you can sometimes temporarily buy down the rate. You can sometimes permanently buy down the rate. And sometimes certain areas, they have what's called a CRA program where you can get into the home because it's a community that's developing, especially in Jersey City.
Yeah, Jersey City.
That gives you, gives you the better rate. So there are opportunities. The question is, to what Ann was saying, when are you ready? Like, how does it make sense? Let's open up that book. Let's have that conversation. Let's understand what your goals are. How do you want them to be met, and how we can help you, right? Because again, the noise is the noise. I get it. Like, yes, you'll see some talk about, oh, I got this. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different risk profile. Everybody's down payment is different from everybody else's.
Yeah.
You just have to understand what you can control. And although AI is available to you, you should use it for a checking point, right? But you should ask us the questions, because this is what we love to do. We love to help you get the home, because in the end, we want you to win.
I couldn't agree more. And every time I meet a buyer, because they always say, oh, we'll reach out to you when we're ready.
Right.
And I always say to them, why don't you meet with me so you know how to get ready?
Right. So let's create those accountabilities.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Because a lot of the times they have all these thoughts. Oh, I need X amount saved. Oh, my credit's not good enough. All these things, right? And then they have one simple coffee with me, a good 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like there's lights at the end of the tunnel. Like, oh, wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know that.
Right.
And then at that point, now you can properly get ready. You know?
Well, recently you just celebrated your birthday, right?
Yes, I did.
So, so you got younger, right? You were singing the song.
21 forever, okay?
Speaking of money, one of your favorite songs I saw you singing was like, love that song, Got No Money. You were doing karaoke.
Listen,
I gotta throw that in.
Delicious is my song. Okay, anything Fergie,
okay,
best believe I will throw down on the mic.
What?
I will throw down on the mic.
Yo,
There's a lot of Fergie songs that I love.
There you go. You was in it. I was watching. I was like, what? I didn't even know this side of you. I'm like, all I see is I see points of interest where you're at the sky, you're looking, you have the bulk, you have your novelty at one point, and then you're looking at this brownstone. I'm like, yo, by the way, you take some good angles, right? So I'm gonna give you credit for that, right?
Thank you.
The pictures are like, because sometimes you see regular pictures like, but like you want to go through your carousel because you tell the story.
Correct.
And that means plenty for some, especially in that wealth market that you tap into, that you work with, right? They don't always want to just see, oh, I sold this. They want to see what's behind the I sold this, right? You do a good job with that. So kudos to you on that in your market.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I see that and I'm like, okay, check her out. I'm like, I didn't know she had this side of her. And I'm like, and then she has a furry family. And then she's like, oh my God, look at this dog coming through. I'm like, you tell a good story. So your social media is good. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a work in progress. And I have learned that it is very important to allow more like personal elements to you shine through.
Open up a little.
Correct. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I always want to be first perceived as, in a serious manner,
right.
Professionally.
Right.
But, with me, we're going to have fun,
right.
And I'm in the line of work where, I get a lot of referrals. I get a lot of repeat business. And it's because I treat my clients not like a one and done. It's not a transaction. This is relationship based. So I want you to genuinely enjoy working with me the same way I genuinely enjoy working with you.
And give more credibility to your social. That's how I met you, because I saw your Now's video.
Ah,
I was like,
yes.
wait, who's this Ann walking across like in the big pool? And now it's theatrical with some of the things,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, of course.
So watching that and that little part that you played in, I was like, I gotta tap into Ann and see what's going on. And
Love that.
we connected through social. So
The
yeah,
power of
the power of social, right?
socials.
It's good. I mean, like, as long as I'm not selling you anything, I'm having a conversation that articulates value. That's all I care about social, right? And that's what I felt like you have, and you do. So, and speaking to you, like you're a newscaster right now. You're using these words. You're fulfilling one quest. Like, is she real estate? Is she this and that? So you have it going on. So kudos to you on all that good stuff happening.
I thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course. So you're shifting a little bit with your business, right? We had
Yes.
that talk in the green room where you're gonna focus on New York City, excuse me, all right, New York City residential, and for Hudson County particularly, that's gonna be a call to action to your investors.
Correct.
Let's talk about that. This episode is brought to you by Pamela Lee from Elite Title Group, representing all real estate transactions in the state of New Jersey.
Correct. Yes. So, because I've gotten a taste of both markets and I can understand, more in depth where the value lies, I like to say it this way. I feel that New York City is very, pleasure driven. If you buy in the city, it's because you genuinely enjoy being in the city. You want that elevated lifestyle. You're not really caring so much about an appreciation play. Granted, obviously, you want your property to hold value, and of
Right.
course, you would want it to increase over time.
Right.
But when we're looking in the grand scheme of things of how developed New York City is to when you're comparing right across the river, it's clear that New Jersey still has a lot of pockets that are underdeveloped
Right.
that have yet to be tapped into. So I tell my clients, if you're looking to make an investment, I recommend parking your money across the river because there you're going to see a very strong equity play over time.
And the views are better.
Listen, there's always this, what's the word? People are always fighting against, is it better to look at the view or is it better to be the view?
I like looking at. I like the edge water. I like just that coastline is just.
Yeah, I
love
it's
it.
beautiful.
It's beautiful, right?
It's gorgeous, yeah. And all the neighborhoods along the waterfront that are facing it are still very much undergoing transformation and growth.
So, I guess you're answering my question. So, 12 months from now, you do think that New Jersey is going to continue to grow?
Absolutely.
New York City, right?
Absolutely.
That's the
I
play.
did an analysis recently on new construction builds in Jersey City. And over the last 5 years, accumulatively, so when you're combining it, it was an average of 30% of growth in the average sales price for new construction 3-beds. So think about someone, if you bought a 3-bed condo, new construction 5 years ago, and you
Right.
decided to sell it today, you are guaranteed going to make 30% more than what you purchased it for.
Wow.
So it's amazing because I try to compare with every other neighborhood along the waterfront, and they're all growing, but they're not all growing as rapidly.
Right,
You
right.
know, and then to save you the spiel, but and then that falls into building departments for the towns. What's the rate in which they're approving new dev? Some building departments are a lot more strict, a lot more, they don't want to approve as much. But
Right.
I know Jersey City specifically, they're very pro-developer friendly,
I watched that because I used to work at Persian on Grove Street. I used to park in Harrison, take the path, and get off of Grove Street.
Okay.
Worked at PAS, and now I'm looking at. I go to Grove Street. I'm like, yo, like you got down
transformed.
exchange down the block, and I'm looking at. I'm like the traffic, the pattern's different now, right? It's
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, do you think there's going to be overdevelopment in Jersey City?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
Okay.
As of right now, no.
No. Okay. There's still room to grow.
Yeah, there's definitely still room to grow.
Okay.
I will give you a fun fact that I read online. Journal Square specifically, right? They have development plans that are future dated, already approved.
Ooh.
And they're future dated, like going up to like the year 2060, right?
Okay.
That's 30 years of approved plans already. So just imagine Journal Square, you see it today,
Wow.
and then Journal Square 10 years from now,
Okay.
20 years from now. It's gonna transform, and it makes perfect sense. You have the PATH train that takes you directly into New York City.
So I guess maybe they're gonna open up the path lines, right? Make more, probably carry double. Right?
Yeah.
Right now, there's some challenges getting from one side of Jersey to the other, right?
Right.
Right.
And to that point, right now, Jersey City, the building department, they're no longer approving on-site parking for new development unless it's grandfathered in. So
Okay.
the reason why they're
That's
doing
important
that,
to know that.
oh yeah, for sure. So if you have a property in Jersey City, or you buy a property in Jersey City that has parking, you're sitting on gold. But the reason
Premium.
why,
Premium.
Yeah, it's premium, a
Right.
huge, value factor.
Right.
And the reason why they're doing it is because they are trying to promote all the residents of Jersey City to be more public transportation dependent.
Right.
They want to decrease the amount of cars. They
Right.
want to decrease the traffic, and they're basically trying to emulate the way New York City is. However, the one thing that I think will need to happen is more means of transportation.
Right. So we talked about the Hudson, we talked about Jersey City. Now you're in Manhattan. You're gonna be part of a team. Is there any nuggets, because this show is gonna come out next month, what someone should be seeing of Annemarie?
Yeah, so stay tuned, because
Okay.
Annemarie, she's breaking through ceilings, glass ceilings.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person who I welcome a challenge. Challenges excite me. Growth excites me. Evolution excites me. And my goals for the remainder of this year is definitely, breaking through into the New York City market, representing, bigger ticket listings, and just living the life that I aspire to be. I'm a Jersey girl, but I'm a city girl at heart, and the city's calling me.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah.
And my goal is to have SERHANT inside of the studio. I've had the heavy hitters like you, Jordan. Now, I've had some heavy hitters. So to get SERHANT here, that's gonna be the biggest. I think that's gonna set my career different from a lot of people.
Yeah,
So we gotta make that happen.
and I would love to, maybe do a little full circle, like a year
Right.
from now.
Right.
We can do a little part 2.
Okay.
See how things have changed.
I see your growth.
Seeing the growth.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
hungry. You're like, I'm all up. You're about that life right now. Yeah,
I'm about it.
Yeah, I'm about that
I'm
life.
capable.
There you go. I'll leave you with this. What's your favorite restaurant, either in Jersey or New York?
Whew, okay. So I'll give you both. So I'll
Okay.
give you first Jersey City. I absolutely love Light Horse Tavern. It's in Paula's Hook.
Okay.
I love it because the vibe is perfect in the summertime. Food is delicious. Menu is diverse. They have a great happy hour, by the way.
Okay.
So definitely look into Light Horse Tavern. If we're talking the New York side, oh, that's tough. I have so many favorites. But you know what? I'm going to go with a small mom and pop restaurant that I absolutely love. It's called Giano. It's in East Village. It's a tiny restaurant. You walk in, it probably has no more than 10 tables. But the owners, they work there, and they treat you like family. And that was the first time I ever tried a burrata. This was like 5 years ago. And the way he described it to me, I'll never forget. He said, "This is the Gucci bag of cheeses." And I
Wow.
said, you know what? I need to try
Okay.
that Gucci bag.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's very good. Homemade pasta, very delicious, and the best tiramisu.
Nice. So if people are looking for you, Annemarie, where can they find you? What's your socials?
You can find me on Miss Huber Sells. It's spelled MISSHUBER Sells at Instagram.
Nice. Others, as always, you can find me on Let's Talk About It on your favorite streaming platform. Again, I'm your favorite mortgage advisor, local, in the tri-state area. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Annemarie, for coming on. Let's talk about it.
Thank you so much.
Love it. Hey, listeners, are you looking to improve your home comfort and save on your energy bills? Let's talk about Seal Power. They've been awarded Energy Star Sustained Excellence Awards seen on Good Morning America, the New York Times, and World News. Seal Power is dedicated to keeping your home cozy while saving you money. Check out their website for tips and incentives and more at CIELPOWER.com. Stay comfortable and save with Seal Power, where comfort meets efficiency. Follow them on Instagram for updates and more, and let's talk about it as well. Thank you.